Okay, shoes, first aid kit, bivvy bag, buff, 2 soft flasks, dry bag, vest. I'm just pulling my kit together for today's longer run. Whenever I head out onto the trails for a bigger effort, I always like to take a certain amount of kit with me. So I tend to take a bit of nutrition, a litre of water, a first aid kit, a bivvy bag, a waterproof jacket and a fully charged mobile phone, just to be on the safe side. And you never know when items a kit like that might get you out of a tricky situation. I also thought this would be the perfect opportunity to test out a trail shoe that we featured on the channel recently a bit more thoroughly. So I took the Saucony Endorphin Rift out for their first run. It performed well over those sort of 7 to 8 miles. But when you're lacing up a trail shoe and hitting the trails for 2 or 3 hours, it is a completely different story. So I'm going to grab the cameras, guys, and you are coming along with us. We are all ready to run. I say we because we got Liga out with us today. We've actually come up to KVK territory, so we're definitely going to have a lot of ups and downs along the way, which will be some quality training in our legs, but it's also going to be a thorough test for the new Endorphin Rift from Saucony. So let's get running. Let's go. Okay guys, so we've reached the coast path and the plan for today is we're going to try and get in a real challenging sort of 16 miles into our legs. Lots of ups, lots of downs along the way, some pretty steep climbs and some technical descents, but I've got to just stop. I'm just stopping Liga because it's been pretty miserable all day, but how lucky are we? How amazing does it look out on the coast path this evening? We've had a busy day in the studio, so we couldn't come out and run till late, but I think we timed it just right. Purple flowers everywhere, incredible blue ocean, coast path as far as the eye can see. This evening is going to be a great run. Right, let's get running. Let's get some strength in our legs for the Round the Rock on Jersey that's rapidly approaching, and obviously for our trip over to Europe in the mountains. Awesome. What an evening! I should have brought my shears with me. I think the coast path's a little bit overgrown. Welcome to the jungle. Wow. We have hit the first big climb of the route, so you might recognise that from the KVK. Like I said, we're out on the route, so we've just gone through Driftwood, headed up the big steps, and we got quite a few big climbs to come, but awesome. We've got KVK weather as well, and Liga has got her poles with her. Liga's got a new pair of poles, Harrier carbon poles, which are wicked. If you're in the market for certain poles, you can't go wrong with them, to be honest, but they're your poles this time, aren't they, Liga?
They're mine, my size.
Now, if you've seen our race trip video from Lake Como, you'll know what happened. So what did happen, Liga?
Well,
let's stop and talk.
Yeah. Well, I've run the steepest half marathon at Transvolcania with no poles, so it was fine. I've done MCC with no poles.
Yeah. Never used poles, super strong hiking.
Well, I thought if I've been fine, then why get them? But then in Lake Como, it was so steep and so muddy, and I felt unsafe. And luckily, Lloyd led me very well. He told me, grab my poles.
Yeah, I sacrificed my poles, and
oh my goodness, where have these been all my life?
So much different, so much different. So now we're heading back into the mountains. You're gonna have poles with you.
Yes, and I'm practicing today.
Yeah, and she's practicing today. So, you know, she's got a lot to learn. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Obviously, if you've ever used poles, you know it takes a bit of time, it takes a bit of practice to get your technique right and everything like that. So don't get in the comments, guys, and say she's doing this wrong, she's doing that wrong. She's practicing, she's learning how to use them properly. And it takes time, but she's doing good. And I'm sure by the time we're back in the big mountains, she'll have it cracked. And boy, do they make a big difference there. We are getting the elevation in today, but look at the epic views behind me. It's such an awesome route out here. And to be honest, we've been a bit lazy with elevations. It's about time we got some tough miles in our legs. I'm bobbing along on the coast path, loving life in this glorious sunshine. And I forgot, I'm supposed to be telling you guys all about how the Endorphin Rift is performing. So I thought I'd stop here, bit of shelter. It's pretty blowy up here, beautiful but blowy. And we're about 7 miles into the run and things are going really well. The main reason I wanted to come and test it out on this route is because it is quite rocky, it is quite technical, and I wanted to see how stable that midsole platform on the new Rift was. Now, if you saw my first impressions on the Rift where I took it out into Tehidy Woods, I spoke all about the time I went and ran the Endorphin Edge, which is built off a very similar platform in the mountains around Chamonix. And I found with that carbon plate, when I got on the rocky technical stuff, that midsole did feel quite unstable, and I did end up tweaking my ankle a few times. Now for me, the good thing about the Rift is it doesn't have a carbon plate in that midsole, and I actually thought out on that first impressions in Tehidy, the shoe felt a lot more planted and a lot more stable, and it's feeling exactly the same way today. A lot more ground connection, there's a lot more give and flex in that midsole, and I just feel so much more stable underfoot. So I personally think that when you compare the Rift to the Endorphin Edge, this shoe is definitely a lot better when it comes to running on technical trails. Okay, so like I say, all feeling good at the moment, but I better crack on and try and catch Liga up. She's left me in her wake. We're going to be hitting a turning point soon, which is amazing. Those first 7 miles have gone really quick, but loving the run so far. Okay, so we have reached the beautiful golden sands of Perranporth. On my left there, you got the watering hole, quite a famous music venue down here in Cornwall. You get some good live bands in there, that's for sure. And we've almost reached the turning point. Okay, halfway there, so we've reached the turning point. We've had some sand action to sort of test the shoe out on as well. got an absolutely epic view of the ocean behind the camera, but we've also got something else we're testing today. So the guys from Talk have sent us some of their new gels, so we got naked flavourless, so it should be pretty interesting. We're going to have one each and we're going to see how they taste. Funnily enough, they don't really taste of anything. That's probably why they're called naked flavourless. They are quite sweet though.
Tastes like sugar.
Yeah.
But nothing else.
It tastes like sugar. It's funny that, because that's pretty much what it is. So yeah, no real flavour, but I think they're going to give us bags of energy for the trip home.
Stumbling around, always feeling lost. It is time to leave. This is not a game for the faint of heart. I know you agree. No one knows who will be chosen to let the truth out in the open. I know exactly what to do. We need to find something somewhere new. Let's bring this up, let's bring this up. Higher, higher. You will go far, I know you are. Fighter, fighter.
Right, we made it back to the adventure bus. We're both still running strong, feeling good. One last effort to go. We're gonna go up the beacon, up and down, only once. Let's get up there, let's get back. We'll see you guys in a minute.
I know exactly what to do. We need to find something somewhere new. Let's bring this up, let's bring this up. Higher, higher. You will go far, I know you are. Fighter, fighter. I know you are.
We've done it, we're up, high fives. Awesome up here. It's a bit blustery, but the view is absolutely mega. But time to go down, last descent, and we cracked it, Legos. Great effort. Right, we are down from the beacon, just shy of 16 miles, so 15.84 miles with 2,500 feet of elevation, so a really good workout. Great test for the shoe. So we started late today, it's pretty late now, so we're gonna have a stretch off, we're gonna go home, we're gonna treat ourselves to a curry because we have worked hard today. We were in the studio for 5 or 6 hours this morning, and then we've been out and run. So a really good positive day for the channel, but we're gonna have a curry, then I'm gonna get a good night's sleep, and I'll give you a full breakdown of how the Saucony Endorphin Rift performed out on today's long run in the morning. Well, I can definitely say I slept like a baby last night. And I don't mean the sort of baby that's up all night crying and screaming. I mean the sort of baby that when its head hits the pillow, you don't hear a peep out of it until morning. A great night's sleep. And we had a wicked curry last night. We're very lucky to have a brilliant curry house in Hale where the quality of food is super consistent. So it was a real good treat. And more importantly, the body is feeling great this morning. So after the run, had a really good stretch off, got home, did a load of foam rolling. I put on the myo pumps and I think that all really helped. So yeah, legs are feeling good today and we're definitely heading in the right direction when it comes to our training. But back to the shoes in question and the Endorphin Rift from Saucony and how they performed out there on yesterday's long run. They actually handled all the terrain on yesterday's long run really well. So we had quite a few sections of a very rocky, technical, quite aggressive trail underfoot, and I've got to say it, I felt nicely connected in the rifts. Even though it is a deeply cushioned trail shoe, I felt stable, but most importantly, it gave me a real good level of underfoot protection from all those sharp, pointy rocks. We also got some gravelly loose trail, we had wet and dry tarmac, and on the way back from the run we had a heavy downpour, so we even had some puddles to run through and a bit of mud out on the trails, and the Rift took it all in its stride. Something I wasn't sure about after my initial run in the Endorphin Rift was how comfortable this booty design upper would be, say on a longer effort, out there on a longer run. Because it is that sock design, there's not a lot of padding worked across the top of the foot there where the laces pull down tight. Now I've got to say, after that long run, I do find the Exodus Ultra 2 and the Exodus Ultra a little bit more comfortable when it comes to the upper. Saucony worked in this zonal padding, which does help a bit, but towards the end of the run yesterday, I did start to notice those laces a little bit more. Now, don't get me wrong, they weren't uncomfortable, they didn't cause me any problems, but I definitely started to notice them more. Also, I think the Rift might size up a fraction smaller than all my other Saucony trail shoes. So I got them in my standard 9.5 UK sizing, which all my other trail shoes are in, but when we were running down some of those steep descents, on my right foot, which is my bigger foot, I could just feel my big toe banging up against the end of the toe box, and because there's quite a substantial toe bumper in there, I did start to notice that. Now again, it didn't cause me any problems, but this is something that I've never had when it comes to running in my Exodus Ultras or my Peregrines. So overall, that Power Track outsole performed well out there. Good levels of grip, good levels of traction on all surfaces. The Power Run PB midsole felt very comfortable underfoot. Really did feel like it was returning energy, and that excellent speed roll geometry felt nice and efficient on the sort of flatter sections of trail. So the Rift did really handle yesterday's long run extremely well, and I definitely prefer running in these compared to its more expensive brother, the Endorphin Edge. But with the Rift still coming in at £180, it's still a very expensive trail running option, especially when you compare it to one of my favourite trail running shoes of all time, the Exodus Ultra or the Exodus Ultra 2. So the twos retail in the UK for £145, but you can pick up the original version of these for as little as £75 online, which is a complete bargain. You know, you really can't go wrong for that type of money. So I suppose the question is, would I be lacing up the Endorphin Rift or the Exodus Ultra 2 on my next long run? And I've got to say it, I think I personally would go for the Exodus Ultra 2. Not that the Rift run bad, but I personally find that this just feels a bit more comfortable in the upper. I think it fits my foot shape a bit better, and that fantastic dual compound midsole seems to give me a slightly better sort of balance between comfort and connection. So there you have it, folks, my conclusion after my first long run in the new Saucony Endorphin Rift. Really hope you found it helpful. I also hope you enjoyed coming out on that long run with us yesterday, seeing the incredible trails, because they really did look epic when we were out there yesterday evening, and so lucky to have trails like that to run on so close to home. Don't forget, if you have enjoyed the video, guys, to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But for now, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting the channel, it really is appreciated. We'll be back here very, very soon, and as always, stay safe and keep on running. We've done it, we're up, high fives. Awesome up here. It's a bit blustery, but the view is absolutely mega. But time to go down, last descent, and we cracked it, Ligos. Great effort, let's go.